To talk about the Trump family is to invite a very, heated conversation to proceedings. Most people agree that much of the family is either deluded, corrupt, racist, bigots, egomaniacs, or all of the above. The only possible exception to the rule is the youngest Trump boy in Barron Trump, the son of Donald and wife Melania. He was a major presence on the campaign trail in regards to his youth, and now years later, he looks much more grown up and out of the public eye for the most part. So given that, allow us to show you what no one realizes about Barron Trump. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10. Only child via his mother. Let's start out with something simple, shall we? When it comes to Barron Trump, his relationship with the rest of his family is, unique to say the least. Because if you somehow didn't know, his father Donald has sired many children with many women, and then promptly divorced them when their time was up in his eyes. Melania is still with him for now, though that may change soon, and because of the fact that they had a child in Barron. And to date, that is her only child, and that's not likely to change unless she divorces Trump, which many suspect that she will. The other reason that this creates some unique situations for Barron is that the other Trump kids aren't, actually kids. Barron himself is 14 years old, which is fine if you don't know the ages of the other Trump children. The eldest of the family, Donald Jr., who is very much a chip off the old block in the worst way possible, is 29 years older than Barron. And even the one right next to him in line via Tiffany is 13 years older than Barron. So just by being born, he was very different from his siblings, just because he wasn't in their age group. Number 9. His childhood. Barron was born in 2006, just a year or so after his parents had gotten married. We'll leave that alone for now. As noted, because of the age differences between Barron and the other Trump siblings, he honestly didn't get the chance to hang out with them very much, as they were basically all adults when he was just a very young child. And due to that, he was very much raised as an only child, especially because he lived in the Trump penthouse in New York City, one of Donald's most famous locations. Say what you will about the parents, and we can definitely say a lot about them. They did make sure that young Barron was educated. They put him in the Columbia Grammar School, and this esteemed school is home to many famous alumni, and it cost $45,000 a year. And when he eventually moved to Washington, D.C. to be with his family in the White House, he was put in St. Andrews and Potomac, which has an equal level of fame and alumni and fee. Just saying. Number 8. The White House. There is a lot you can say about Melania Trump, especially in light of new evidence of her own role in the recent siege at the Capitol and the comments she was urged to make denouncing them, but didn't. But there is one thing she clearly does care about: Barron. A great example of this is when Donald Trump shocked the world and won the election in 2016. As he was going to be president, he wanted to move the family, for the most part at least, as some had to stay behind to run his businesses, to Washington, D.C. to be in the White House, which is totally fair. However, Melania knew it would be a bad idea to interrupt what Barron was doing in school, and so she and him stayed behind in New York until he was done with his current year in school. Only then did the two move to Washington, D.C. Now on the surface, this may seem like a basic move, but here's the catch. Because of the split in the Trump family, the Secret Service was pushed heavily, and the cost of protecting both sides of the family during this was costly. But Melania didn't care, because she wanted to make sure that Barron got his education, no excuses. Number 7. Trilingual. Considering that Donald Trump can barely speak English, remember Covfefe? It might be surprising for you all to know that many of his children speak multiple languages. The main one shared between them all for some odd reason is French. However, when it comes to Barron, he's a bit smarter than the rest, as he learned how to speak Slovenian, the tongue of his mother, and that's where she's from, and the country is Slovenia. But that's not all. According to his mother, he was already fluent in Slovenian at the age of 5. Which meant that he was pretty much a prodigy in regards to languages, so much so that he would speak to his mother and grandparents, Melania's parents, in their native tongue with ease. So yeah, that is one smart kid. Number 6. Luxury lifestyle. This one shouldn't be too surprising per se, but when you get all the details, it'll become much more clear. You see, whether it was living in Trump Tower or in the White House, the lifestyle of Barron Trump has always been luxurious. When he was in Trump Tower, his father had 3 whole floors dedicated to him, Donald, and it was built to look like a palace. Barron himself was given a whole floor to have fun in and was allowed to do just about anything he wants, including drawing on the walls. Plus, when the season shifted and his parents wanted to go and do things in other places, he would move from mansion to mansion and still have all the luxury. While the White House may have been seen as a slight step down, it's still perfect, as there is a staff who literally waits on the family hand and foot, and as a result of that, he gets just about anything he wants when he wants. Oh, to be the child of a president. Speaking of which. Number 5, sons. Here's a unique history fact for you. Barron Trump is the first presidential son to live in the White House since JFK Jr. Pretty weird, right? The presidents that come before Donald only had daughters or no children at all, which is not something you think about all too often until it's pointed out to you and you can't help but think, didn't realize that. Sure, it doesn't impact Barron too much, obviously, but it is something special, that is for sure. Number 4, future soccer star? You don't exactly associate the Trump family with athletics, but with Barron, that perception may change. If you look at him right now, you'll see he has a tall and lanky frame, which suits him well as he's a big soccer fan and player. According to both Melania and Donald, Barron is a natural athlete and has well and truly played in some interesting soccer programs. One time, the MLS team DC United came to the White House and played a pickup game with Barron, and even forward Patrick Mullins was impressed by his skills and passion for the game. Number 3, Little Donald. Not exactly the moniker one wants nowadays, but to those who know Barron Trump, they realize there are a lot of similarities between the father-son duo. According to Melania, Barron is very headstrong and knows what he wants. One attendant who used to work at the White House even said that Barron had a very authoritative way of talking with people and is not afraid to call it like he sees it. Let's just hope he doesn't become exactly like his father because, well, the world likely wouldn't be able to handle that. Number 2, golf. We're not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but one activity that Donald and Barron absolutely have in common is their love of golf. Barron's love of it started when he was young, and he even got photos of him doing things like putting and sizing up clubs. Fast forward to his White House days, and the Trump managed to go golfing regularly when Donald's schedule allows it, which, if you know Donald, is much more than you think it would probably be. According to Melania, Barron even said he wanted to be a pro golfer, which would be cool, but he also said... Number 1, following his father. No, we're not saying that Barron wants to be president yet, but we are saying that according to sources in the family, Barron wants to be a businessman like his father, which may be more likely than you think, given that Trump will likely give him some things in his will business-wise when he passes. Though it also should be noted that the backup plan for Barron is to be the pro golfer like we noted before. We're honestly rooting for that one personally. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Barron Trump and what makes him so different from the rest of the Trump family? Do you think that he might honestly be different from the rest of the Trumps and that he could potentially be a good person? Do you hope that once his father is out of office, he can just go and live his life? What do you think he'll grow up to be? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.